Hey guys, just a quick clarification before this video begins. I'm not featuring any songs here that have already been featured on my top 10 favorite Arctic Monkeys songs countdown. If you want to see that, then tap the card here on screen or else the link at the end of the video. What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another episode of 7 on Sunday. This week it's time for another series within a series, if you will. I've done the super underrated tag many times before, but I'm happy to announce that it's about to spin off into its own series. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel. If you like finding out about the underrated gems in a band's discography, I'm going to be doing part 2s to some of the bands that I've already featured. And of course today we're talking about 7 super underrated songs from the English alternative rock band, the Arctic Monkeys. Arctic Monkeys are one of my favorite bands of the 21st century. There's so much ingenuity, passion, and also changes in style that they presented to us over the years, and consistency has been the key for them. I really love pretty much everything in their discography. They're one of those bands that I can look to and I can point to even their B-sides, their demo album, their early EPs, or even their most recent records and say the quality is always there. This band blessed their fans with so many great B-sides, with so many singles that a lot of people don't even know about that have like 2 or 3 extra songs on them in addition to the single. Just look on Spotify under like My Propeller or Brian Storm or so many of these other cuts and you'll unlock a whole new world. Fire away in the comments section and let me know what are some of the most underrated Arctic Monkeys songs out there. And of course, if you want to see a part 2 of this video, help me get this to 1,000 likes. I really want to make a part 2 to this because there were more than 75 songs in consideration that I had for this video, and I hope to make that a reality in the future. But for now, let's go ahead and move on to my number 7 pick, Choo Choo.
Let it drive the train, oh, choo choo. Why don't you let it drive the train?
Choo Choo, all aboard the underrated hype train for the Arctic Monkeys. At number 7, we have this train-themed song that is a blast to listen to. There's a lot of sexual tension that I feel from this song. It's off of their Beneath the Boardwalk demo tape that got passed around at their early shows. I think it's an unofficial track list from what I can tell. I wasn't a fan back in like 2005 when they started. I wish that I could say I was, but I didn't get on board till like 2007, 2008. Over the years, fans compiled about 18 different songs that were from that era, and many of them, like View from the Afternoon and Cigarette Smoker, got turned into songs that later appeared on the Who the Fuck Are Arctic Monkeys EP, and even their debut album, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. The guitar riff on this one is a lot of fun. I like that it actually kind of emulates the choo-choo sound effect in the way that it kind of chomps around in the background throughout the song, and as I mentioned, there is kind of a sexual tension that you can hear lyrically. Alex Turner, the mastermind, the leader, the frontman of this band, has always been great at crafting lyrics, at telling a story, and we could see a lot of that enigma early on, and I put this on the list just because it showed so much promise for what this band was going to be, and lo and behold, the band exploded and they're legendary at this point.
And the troll splits the frame, revealing silken fits in the Fright line dining room. Throw a gaze towards them while they feast.
What did I tell you about the hidden corners of the Arctic Monkeys discography? At number 6, we have Fright-lined Dining Room, which is definitely a mouthful, kind of a tongue twister to say, but in other words, Fright-lined Dining Room, it means strip club. Alex Turner describes a person in this scenario that's going to the club. He sees everything that's going on. He sees some less than reputable characters throwing money, ogling over the women in the club, and he also does a great job, along with the rest of the band, at creating atmosphere. The story that's going on here, it doesn't just feel like a sleaze fest, it also feels like maybe something else is going on. I don't know if it's a heist or some other crime, maybe there's some infidelity, of course, with the club, kind of being the key that's unlocked there. The descriptiveness of this track is really what makes it work for me, but I also love those drums that pound away, but especially on a cut that's a B-side for Cornerstone. They went a little bit too hard for a track that didn't even make the final cut, and honestly, songs like this, I wish they would have, but I understand you gotta cut it down somehow. But the humbug B-sides in and of themselves, please check them out. P.S. That dark guitar breakdown after the second verse is everything that I needed to hear on a track like this. I mean, the first few times I listened to it, I couldn't believe it. It was just like something, an explosion going off in my head.
Love came in a bottle with a twist of cap. Let's all have a swig and do a hot laugh.
Number 5, the newest cut that we're going to see on the list today, Star Treatment off of Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. This album at large is both overly hated and also underrated at the same time. Hey, that kinda rhymed. On Star Treatment, Turner's voice just kinda floats about like it's out in space somewhere. I don't know, a glass jar floating through the atmosphere. He's using a lot of descriptive terms, and it's almost like a cadence that he has that's like poetry as it rolls off of his tongue. The song doesn't take too many breaks until it's kind of instrumental fade into oblivion in the outro, but the majority of the song sees Turner using a lot of tongue-in-cheek phrases, describing the life of a rock star, possibly himself, also possibly a lot of fictional elements to it as well. He opens up the song by saying he wanted to be one of the Strokes, and honestly, I don't think a lot of people got the humor in this record, even this song at large. I love the jazzy tempo. I love the fact that it almost feels like an elevator-styled song. The light drumming, the key touches on this track are phenomenal, but overall, the humor, it's on point. What do you mean you've never seen Blade Runner? Come on, lines like that, they gotta make you chuckle at least a little bit.
Put on your dancing shoes and show me what to do. I know you've got
Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age provides backing vocals on this kick-ass ace in the hole All My Own Stunts that lands at number 4. This is off of 2011's Suck It and See, a record that definitely isn't my favorite from the Arctic Monkeys, but there's also so many tunes on here like Piledriver Waltz, Library Pictures, and many, many more brick by brick that really get the job done in a major way. This track in particular, to me, always had these wickedly delightful guitars. I love the backing vocals and the cadence and the atmosphere that's presented once again. It does feel like it could have fit on Humbug because of Josh Homme working on that record pretty intensely out in the desert with the band, but this track here, it brings to life something that talks about the imagination and maybe somebody using a form of escapism. Our narrator on this track is talking about watching these Western films, wanting to do possibly all of his own stunts, like the cowboy films that he's watching, but maybe more so than even that, he just wants to be something bigger. Maybe he's just this loser sitting there watching TV in his mom's basement, and he's envisioning something bigger for his own life.
from the smoke in your head to the blood in your bruise and the bows on the shoes.
Raising the bar ever higher at number 3 is Joining the Dots, one of the B-sides from the single to My Propeller. This, of course, was from the Humbug sessions, and I always loved the kind of delightful keys that we get on this one. It's not something that's delightful in the sense that, oh, it's very bright and very cheery, but it's more so, oh, this is setting the tone for a mystery. It keeps us in suspense. On this track, Alex Turner describes a partner that has perhaps not been faithful. He's wondering, where has she been? Who is she going out with? All of the clues are adding up, and I love the fact that this song is very intelligent. The way that the lyrics were written around this era, Humbug, Suck It and See, that is when Alex Turner was truly on top of his game. And I think joining the dots here implies that he's joining them because he's connected the dots and put the whole story together. You're busted. The way the song feels more compressed and low-key during its verses and then kind of explodes after the chorus rolls around and gets a bit more noisy, I honestly feel that this is a good representation of what the narrator was feeling on this track, possibly wanting to keep his cool when confronting this woman, but also lashing out and saying, what the hell are you doing? What's going on behind my back that I don't know about here? Oh my good God, my number 2 pick is just captivating. What a wild listen, one that takes you on a hell of a roller coaster ride. Since I discovered this song about a year and a half or 2 ago, I've been listening to it like a metric fuck ton. But I had to pick this one just because it is very fast-paced, very punky and confrontational. Our narrator on this track spends the duration of the song trying to question the authenticity of this plastic person on the street. He's saying a plastic tramp, aka a beggar, and he thinks that this beggar actually isn't hurt, or maybe he doesn't actually need the money, but he's preying on the good intentions of people, but he also can't prove it, and it's driving him a little bit crazy. Jamie Cook's guitar shredding up and down the scales here is electrifying. It definitely brings me to life even if I'm having a very slow day, something that feels melancholy. This song pulls the energy out of you. And honestly, after the acapella break on this track, that definitely sounds great. It kind of throws a little bit of wrench in there, and then they speed it up for the final section of this song, slam it home. The guitars are throttling, so are the drums and the bass. Everything about this track just screams, play me, and play me so loud, but also, Arctic Monkeys, play me live in concert, please, just for John from ARTV.
She said, do me a favor and stop flattering yourself. I'm too tear apart the ties that...
The King of the Hill today at number 1 on my list of super underrated Arctic Monkeys songs is Do Me a Favor from Favorite Worst Nightmare. This came out in 2007, and this song has always spoken to me. Something about heartache and also heartbreak, the sense of torture that you want to inflict on yourself after a breakup. Things are lingering, as the narrator describes on this track. Perhaps this was a personal story for Alex Turner, but also he tends to channel things into a little bit of his own flair, but also from a character's standpoint and point of view. On this one in particular, I really do feel that this is one of their most emotional songs that they've ever written. And it's not just that it's slow in places and that maybe it takes a second to kind of grapple onto your heart, but it's more so that I feel the musicality does something. It drives kind of the stake into you because it is slow, and then almost out of nowhere, it flips over and hammers in those drums so fast and so hard. Do me a favor, and there's so many favors that he does ask for. Obviously, break his nose, a lot of other strange requests, but he's saying, please, just get it over with. Rip off the bandage and don't put me through this turmoil of saying, maybe we're gonna fix this. Let's just get it over with because we both know that you're leaving. Thus concludes part 1 of the most underrated Arctic Monkeys songs. If you do want to see that part 2 in the future, then please help me out by dropping a like on this video and subscribe for the love of music because you don't want to miss out on that video and all of my others. Of course, like I said, I am spinning this off into its own series, the super underrated songs, so look out for more of those videos in the near future. If you've yet to see my top 10 favorite Arctic Monkeys songs, then tap this card right here, or tap over here to see me rank all of the Arctic Monkeys albums from worst to best in my own personal opinion. If you want to help support the channel on Patreon, then tap that card in the corner of the screen, or else the top link down below, and other than that, I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.